Okay, so today we're cracking open a really mysterious book from 1899. This is a text that promised to reveal a hidden cosmic code. A code that connects everything, from the stars way up there down to the very geometry of the human body. I mean, what if there was a single master key to unlock all of reality? Well, back in the 19th century, one man was absolutely convinced he'd found it.
Our story starts right here, with this actual physical book. It was copyrighted in 1899 and it's currently held in the Harvard College Library. And this isn't some fantasy novel, you know. This was a serious attempt to lay out the practical secrets of astral truth and occult art. It's a real artifact from this incredible time when science, spirituality, and mysticism were all crashing into each other in some really fascinating ways.
And the author, well, he does not hold back. Right there in the table of contents, you get this incredibly dramatic promise, a message from the stars. So yeah, that kind of sets the tone for the journey we're about to take into a very different way of looking at the world.
So what is this book exactly? And who wrote it? Let's get right to the source and meet the mind behind this grand cosmic vision.
The author's name was Willis F. Whitehead, and he wasn't just writing a book, he was trying to create a thesaurus, like a complete dictionary of mystical thought. He really saw himself as an initiate, someone sharing profound secrets that he believed were divinely inspired. Now, at the very heart of his entire system is one single, incredibly dense symbol that he believed acted as the key to, well, everything.
He calls it the Agrippian cross. It's dedicated to the 16th century philosopher Agrippa, a figure Whitehead just revered. He called him a scholar, philosopher, and mystic. So the cross itself is part tribute, but it's also a puzzle, just jam-packed with stars and a hidden numerical logic that, we're going to have to decode.
And that right there brings us to the central question of all this. How could this one symbol, this kind of jumble of stars and words, possibly hold the key to understanding all of reality? Well, Whitehead believed it did, and the rest of his book is basically the instruction manual.
So, the first step to decoding this whole thing is understanding the map that it's all drawn on, the heavens themselves.
Now, for Whitehead, the zodiac wasn't about your daily horoscope in the newspaper. No. It was a literal 360-degree celestial map, a perfect mathematical system. This was the fundamental framework, the bedrock, that his entire theory of reality was built on. Think about the 4 key points of the year, the equinoxes and the solstices. He believed these form what he calls the Great Celestial Cross up in the heavens. For him, this wasn't just some astronomical event. It was a divine, geometric structure that governs the seasons of the year and, as we're about to see, the seasons of our own lives. Okay, so once he has this celestial map established, Whitehead then dives into the hidden language that's encoded inside the Agrippian cross itself, and that is the language of numbers. You see, every single star on this cross has a specific numerical purpose. You've got 9 groups of 7 stars for the major celestial bodies, plus another group for Earth. The 2 lines of 13 stars, those represent the 12 houses of the zodiac, plus the sun right at the center. The key idea here is that nothing is random. But that final count, the 84 stars that make up the border, that is the most important number of all.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Whitehead connects that number, 84, directly to the human lifespan. He argues that our life here on Earth is a perfect reflection of the 84-year orbit of the planet Uranus. I mean, in his view, our lives are literally planetary journeys.
And just like the year has 4 seasons, our 84-year life is divided into 4 21-year quarters. You have the spring of youth and love. Then you move into the summer of work and accomplishment. Then the autumn of maturity. And finally, the winter of old age and what he calls the Passover. It's a complete cyclical map for a human life.
But Whitehead's system goes even deeper than that. He was convinced that there was one single number that acted as the engine for this entire cosmic machine.
He basically asks, is there a master number? A kind of mathematical constant for reality itself. And he believed, absolutely, that he had found it. This is it. 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. He calls this the number of endless evolution. To him, this was not just some random string of digits. It was the secret frequency of the universe. So where does it come from? It's the repeating decimal you get when you divide 22 by 7, which is an old approximation of pi. He saw this endless, cyclical repetition as mathematical proof of eternal evolution, a numeric signature of life, light, and love, woven right into the fabric of the cosmos.
So, let's try to tie all of this together. We've got the zodiac map, we have a life path based on the planet Uranus, and we have a master number. What does it all add up to? Well, it all leads to this incredible idea of the geometric man. Quoting directly from Agrippa, Whitehead shows how the human body can perfectly form a pentagon inside a circle. It reveals a kind of divine geometry hidden right there in our own form.
Then, with arms outstretched, the body also forms a perfect square, or what he calls a quadrature. The idea is that we are, quite literally, walking, talking geometry.
And finally, with the navel as the central point, the human body fits perfectly within a circle. This means that all the fundamental shapes of geometry, the point, the line, the triangle, the square, and the circle, are all contained right within us.
And this is really the ultimate takeaway from Whitehead's entire system. Nothing is separate. The cosmos is governed by numbers, and the human body is a perfect geometric reflection of that cosmos. As he puts it so poetically, man is a quadrature in flesh of the astral zodiac, a small universe perfectly reflecting the Great One.
In the end, the mystic Thesaurus is this totally fascinating attempt at a theory of everything, born from that 19th century blend of math, mysticism, and astronomy. And it kind of leaves us with a question, right? Whitehead looked for his master code in numerology and the planets. Today, we look for ours in things like particle physics and string theory. What does our modern search for a single code to explain reality really say about us?